What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Kill La Kill episode 17, and holy crap, what an ending that was. That ending right there was freaking amazing. Now, I had some idea at some point in the story that right there was going to happen, but what I did not expect was for it to go down like that, nor play out like that. But so that ending right there definitely kind of caught me off guard somewhat. But the episode starts off with Satsuki. She has now returned to the school, and she was telling the Elite Four that they actually did a pretty good job on the school raid trip. And so now she was saying that it's finally time for them to move on to the next phase of their plan. And we see now they're actually going to have this cultural and sports grand festival. And even now we see that the school, but I believe that it was like some in the city as well, or maybe it wasn't, but the school, it definitely changed appearance. Because we see now it had much more of a different shape to it, and the surrounding walls to it are now much higher. And so we go back to Ryoko and Tsumagu, who are having a standoff right now because Tsumagu wants to destroy Senketsu. And Ryoko was saying that she would even go, like full on naked to take him on, because Tsumagu had asked her, when she's not wearing her uniform and she's half naked right now, what can she really do? But it was just hilarious, how Mako, stepped in, and she definitely lightened the mood, because now Tsumagu didn't even want to, shoot them anymore. So Mako definitely played the mediator in that one, because she definitely, took away all that tension. But now Ryoko, once she has Senketsu back on, she actually goes out, and we just see that Osaka, this place is a complete wreck. I'm pretty sure that like all the civilians, I'm pretty sure they all left by now, because there is no way that this city can really, be repaired. Like, even though that guy has so much money, it wasn't real money. Like, outside of Osaka, I'm pretty sure, that currency is pretty much worthless. But we see Tsumagu. He was actually out training, shooting random clothes. But we learn, from the flashback that the person close to him that he saw dying from the life fibers was actually his sister, and his sister was Ryoko's father, right hand assistant. So she was like his number two right there. And when he saw her die, it clearly changed him, and that's why Tsumagu kind of believed that Ryoko will kind of share like a similar fate. Ryoko will kind of share like a similar fate to her sister. So really, he's like kind of looking out for her in a sense, because I'm pretty sure he'll never want somebody to like go through what his sister did. But right before his sister died, she was saying that these experiments, must continue, because obviously they have to fight against these life fibers. Otherwise, the world is going to be conquered by them. And so now we go to what's her name? We go to Ragyo, and she was talking to her assistant. And of course, they were going over, this whole grand festival, and about, how everything is moving into place. And we even had Nue, she appeared as well. But of course, Nue does not really care about this, because she's a focus on Ryoko. And she was actually, kind of impressed that she went around collecting those pieces that she had cut up and put Senketsu back together. But Ragyo was saying that tomorrow is the grand festival, so she actually wants Nue to dress up and impress her sense of style. But Nue didn't even do that, because when we saw her later on, we saw that she had still looked the same. And it was also funny how Ira, because he had announced that about this the grand festival, and how everybody could attend, even though they were no stars, them and their families could attend, because we all know that this whole plan is to sacrifice all these people to the life fibers. So basically, all these like dress clothes they were giving to people, it had life fibers in them, and then Ragyo or Satsuki, they were going to sacrifice these people to the fibers. And so we have Mako parents who actually, snuck on this. Now, I'm not really sure what you call it, but they had snuck onto the platform that Ira was like standing on. And the animation, right here, it was definitely funny, because her father, he was like so concerned about, where Mako and Ryoko was, because he knew that Mako had went on a trip. But when all the students came back, Mako wasn't with them. So he was definitely, kind of worried about that. But the way that they did the animation, it definitely made this scene funny. But Ira was saying that because, Mako is rebellion, her family, they were all going to get kicked out. But if they attended this festival, then they could, help wash away her sins. But the only thing that they really cared about if this festival was going to be, catered. And so once they learned about that, they were all aboard with this. But then we learned that what's the name, Akiro, he actually planted these hidden cameras everywhere on the school. So they already knew what was going on, and they even knew about this plan to like sacrifice all these people to life fibers. So Ryoko definitely wasn't going to stand for that. So she was all ready to go there, and of course Tsumagu and Akiro, they were definitely going with her. But when they were leaving, we see that Mako, even though they wanted her to stay behind, she just won't leave Ryoko's side because she actually clinged to her at one point on a motorcycle. But at least now we have all three of them, like they're now heading to the school because Ryoko wants to defeat Ragyo and Satsuki. But the thing is, Satsuki always knew about those hidden cameras. I believe it was thanks to Hoka. So now they've like already for them to come. So on the day of the ceremony, we have all these people there, and they're like wearing all these dresses and tuxedos. And we see that, once the food comes, Mako's family is already digging in. And it was hilarious how, what's her brother name? I forgot Mako's brother name, but he actually sold his tuxedo, and he like paid himself to wear clothes. Because his mother said, now that you actually got a pretty good look at him, she actually saw that he was naked. And her father was saying that, he wish he had thought of that. And that right there was just, really funny to me. But now that the ceremony had begun, we have, Satsuki talking, and of course, she had welcomed her mother, and her mother had to make in this like really flashy and extravagant entrance. And I'm not gonna lie, like in that dress that she was wearing, she had looked so different. It's almost kind of creepy to me in a sense, but not saying that she freaked me out. But to me, she had looked so different. It was just kind of weird to see her like that. Like her hairstyle and her dress, it was just kind of weird to me. But overall, she definitely like has that superiority to her. And we see that, after she's done with this speech, that I'm pretty sure nobody was like really listening to, especially Mako's family. She like pressed this button and it activate the life fibers, and we just see the people are slowly being consumed by it. And so once Ryoko and the other two arrive, we see that they can hear the screams of the people. And so Aikiro, he actually pulls out, his robotic legs, what she calls DTR, and I forgot the name that Ryoko, referred to them as, but I didn't know that that Tsumagu didn't like that. Well, Tsumagu said that Aikiro didn't like that name, so that's what he just called them DTR, and it was definitely funny how when Mako was trying to get on there like the other two, there was no place for her to grab onto, so she kept falling off. But at least now, they all went up there. And so once they arrive, we see that everybody is now in this like red cocoon of life fibers because they had been consumed by it. Well, everybody except for Mako's brother, of course. But he was like sweating so much because he was scared that the pain it was now coming off of him. So I'm glad that even though her brother doesn't play much of a bigger role, they are at least showing him. But I do wonder what is Mako going to do? Watch waiting out there. But then we see Nue as she's just watching from afar. She's not actually there in the ceremony. She like watching on one of those walls that they have surrounding the place. But we see, once Ryoko gets there, we see that her and Ragyo are talking. And while that's going on, we finally see Satsuki's true intentions as she impales her mother with her sword. Because all this time she was actually plotting a rebellion. Because unlike her mother, she feels like that clothes, that they aren't here to dominate humans. Like humans are supposed to rule this world, not clothing. So clearly these two are definitely going to ahead at some point. But the way that it looked when she had impaled her mother, like all that blood that you saw coming from her mouth, and even when she like threw her into like something else that was like pinning her body up, it was just so well done. And I definitely love the way that the animation showed her face. We just saw all the blood coming from her mouth, and her eyes were like red like demons. So now we learn that all this time, Satsuki was never really planning on taking this throne from her mother in the first place because she never wanted it. She had wanted to dethrone her, and I'm pretty sure she actually wants to wipe out covers as well. So now that we know Satsuki's true intentions, I'm pretty sure that her and Ryoko really won't be enemies. But I have a feeling that this right here is not the end of Ragyo. I will admit that it does seem like she could be dying because of the sneak attack from Satsuki, and she is losing a ton of blood. But I have a feeling that we are done with her yet. I am so looking forward to the next episode. But that ending right there, it was just amazing. I loved it. That right there was definitely my favorite part of the episode right there. I have to give it to the ending. I should have to. But overall, this episode, it was freaking fantastic. That ending right there to like boosted the rating for me, like, sky high, because that right there like showed you how much I definitely liked it. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe because that really helps me out and I appreciate that. But as always, you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.